Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
DraftKings Best Ball continues here over on DraftKings, specifically the massive $3 million contest, $20 million in prize pool. 3 different million makers will be crowned in this contest. And our partners at DraftKings, appreciate them sponsoring our shows all through the week here. So I got a quick read from our partners at DraftKings. What's going on, everyone? Football season is right around the corner, and DraftKings is bringing you their biggest best ball contest ever. We're talking a massive $20 million in total prizes, making this the largest best ball tournament in DraftKings history. And this year, not just 1, but 3 players will walk away as millionaires. And right now, our partners at DraftKings are giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the 20 million best ball contest for just $25, and you'll receive a bonus best ball ticket to play again free for a share of 20 million, giving you a second shot to be crowned a millionaire. It's simple. Just draft your dream team once. No weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically start each week, all season long. Every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown counts towards your shot at a share of $20 million. Download the DraftKings daily fantasy app and enter a lineup into the 20 million best ball contest for just $25 to get a bonus ticket to play free, another shot to win big. That's 2 shots without ever setting your lineup again in DraftKings. Biggest best ball contest ever. Draft one, get one. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 8878-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-77 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most states. Restrictions apply. 1 per customer. Enter the best ball 20 million headliner contest to get 1 bonus entry. $25 entry fee required. Reward expires at contest lock on 9/9/26. See terms at DraftKings.com/promotions. Sponsored by DraftKings. Bang. And with that, we are back. And of course, I bring in my co-host for these Wednesday evening shows. You know him as Sacrilegious from Legendary Upside. What's going on, Sac?
Oh, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. If I count slow drafts, I'm officially over 4,200 drafts. The slow drafts, still got like 450 or so that are trickling in. But yeah, I don't think we'll get to 5K this year, but we shattered the goal of 3,000 teams. We'll probably push 4,500 when it's all said and done.
You are pushing, I would assume, the most drafts of anybody in best ball. Well, I don't know how many Shady's done. I know Shady has you in dollars, but I would assume you have him in actual drafts. So
yeah, Shady has me in dollars. I'm pretty sure I've got everybody in drafts, and I almost guaranteed have it by actually drafting. If anyone came close, maybe they auto drafted some stuff with ranking set. I did not auto draft a single team. It is all sidekick top guy for going to be about 4,500 drafts. So I'm excited for the games to start, man.
Love it. I'm excited too. I can't wait. I mean, we're slowly getting to that point where we're like, man, the games are really almost here. Like it's getting that close where we're like, we're itching here. We've been itching for best ball for a while. Then we got it. The season is almost over, but it's not over yet, Zach. There's still drafts to be had. We still have to knock this million maker out over on DraftKings. My boy Adrian in the house. Love Adrian here. Appreciate you. Spielkowski says, how many does Matic have? I don't know how many Matic has, but I know he's already acknowledged that Sack has him by a good deal, I think.
Yeah, to be fair to Davis, I do not have a child. Davis has a newborn child at home, so I think we got to put some respect on Davis Maddox's name for getting that volume in with
Also, you got to put some respect for putting that volume in while streaming daily.
True, yeah,
Because of course, I have a 4-month-old, so I know for a fact it's not easy when you start having kids and you start drafting. Even the amount I'm drafting, and I haven't done as many drafts as Davis. You know what I mean? Davis owns me in draft. I don't know where he is in dollar fees, but he's owning me in the draft department for sure. But the kid throws a wrench into it. But live streaming every day sometimes Davis goes for like 2-3 hours for a stream, and he'll do multiple streams in a day.
Yeah.
So, you could be talking 5-6 hours on a mic streaming plus drafting. That takes a lot out of you. So, what Davis does is you got to respect it. You got to respect it for sure.
Davis is absolutely built different. I mean, and also like to anyone out there who's like, oh man, I only got 1,000 drafts. Like, dude, if you've got 1,000 drafts in, you're guaranteed the top 1% of volume of all people drafting best ball. And it's probably like the top 0.1% if we're really being on it. There's a ton of people in these contests that are drafting 1, 2, 3 teams, and when you were reading the DraftKings read and they mentioned there will be 3 millionaires. That's just in the flagship because there's another milli up for grabs in the 555. So,
that's right. Yeah.
There's going to be 4 millionaires, possibly maybe same person, takes top 3 in the flagship and banks the 555.
Are you alluding to yourself possibly taking all 3 spots and winning the 555 as well? Is that what you're alluding to?
Listen, I'm not greedy. I don't need all 3 spots. I'll settle for maybe one of those and the 555. I think that's very reasonable.
All right. Well, you know what, guys? We're fighting out for at least 2 millionaire spots over on DraftKings with Zach here. Eric says, I got 149 drafts, most ever. Damn proud. A lot are with you, JSU. Appreciate you drafting with us, Eric, all throughout the season. You're the man. And even like on DraftKings, they do that awesome thing where if you put in the 150 on the Millie Maker, they give you like 375 right back off the rip, which is awesome, honestly. So, even just to get that, just the 150 in the Millie is friggin' awesome. But yeah, if you get like 1,000 drafts in, like you're doing really good. You know what I mean? I don't even have 1,000 drafts. I think I have like 730 or something, like 750, somewhere around there. So
I mean, that's still a ton of drafts because you don't multi a ton of them, do you?
I don't slow draft one. Like the only ones I did when I tried it, I put because the contest was gonna fill and I wanted to finish it, so I put. Remember I told you this? I put like 30 in at once just to see how it would feel or something, or 40. I was just like, let me try. So I've slow drafted like 40 teams. The rest, though, are all, fast drafts. So, yeah, no, I don't. I pick every one of them like you. I don't auto a team. So, yeah, it's different.
Still very, very commendable amount of volume, and yeah, it's just I'm looking forward for the games to start. There's going to be so many things where we were wrong, and it's just funny to your teams, get contact with reality, and you're like, okay, so there's definitely some picks I wish I could have back, and then there's a few things where you're like, wow, I was overweight on that guy at 12%. Didn't think he'd smash as hard as he's smashing, so that's cool. So it's fun. I'm really looking forward to football season. As always, but.
Yeah, let's get into a draft here. Let's get into a 25 over on DraftKings. $3 million to first. If you want to draft with us, get in the contest, feel free. I'm pulling out my phone right now. So if you want to enter, I'm going to be jumping in this thing in 1 second. $25, $20 million prize pool on DraftKings, and still time to get the volume up if you're trying to get the volume in. I know there's some late drafters coming into the season who are just starting to trying to get their volume up, Zach. So there's people out there really grinding the streets. I'm entering right now, by the way. So if anyone wants to enter, $25, come in draft with us here. And I am one of 12, so we might get a ton of friends.
A full family and friends room.
Yep, one of 12 right there. So music says 707 drafts for me, no autos. See, that's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. So shout out to you. Shout out to anyone who's grinding it like that. But Zach, I did want to talk about, as we're pulling this draft up here, it did fill. I did want to talk about some things since we're getting to the end of best ball season, right? And we've been drafting the whole season. So, since the contest started, we've been drafting. I want to talk about some of our biggest, what we feel as maybe swings and misses, and some of the things where we swung and we feel like we hit it out of the park, maybe with, guys that have moved up the board tremendously and you were just slamming them. So I want like 3 guys off the top of the dome, Sack, that you feel like you missed out on this year, that you feel like, damn, I wish I was drafting this guy. And I'll actually start to give you a second because I
Okay.
knew this question was coming and you didn't. I'm gonna say it and you're gonna laugh. Bucky Irving's the first one. I capitulate. I was owned on Bucky Irving. You were right about Bucky Irving. I was wrong. Sean Tucker was not a thing at all. I knew that right when I watched him uh, run in for like a 1 yard touchdown in the fourth quarter, and I was like, well, this guy might not even make the team. He's not in the game plan at all for this team here. So Bucky Irving is definitely one that I've actually started to try and draft a little bit of, just because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be too far out, but I am mad that I wasn't clicking him more when he was going a little later. So that's definitely one for me that I'm kind of annoyed I wasn't just slamming the button on when you were telling me he's just a really good pick, man. And you were on board, you were right on with that selection. So Bucky Irving's definitely one for me. Do you have one?
Yeah, when I'm the one where I'm like, shoot, we were low on this guy for a while. I think reasonably so, but it just makes me feel a little bad, and it's probably one that I think a lot of people are like, why do you care about this one? But I'm pretty low on Chris Godwin. I've got like 1% Godwin on my post draft DK teams, and we were worried that he just might be totally done now after the injury. He didn't really ever come back and be in like good form last year, so we were concerned that it might be over. From what we've seen, in training camp, it seems like he's looking okay. And so that's one where it's not like it probably would have been a huge position if we were, less afraid of the really bad floor outcomes there where he's totally washed and doesn't have it anymore. But that's one where I'm like, man, we might have been a little too concerned there. And we talked about this when we looked at our exposures on our previous show. The ones that really get me are ones where I think there might have been a process mistake where I'm like, we were a little too conservative on that probability, or we got this input off a little bit. So mine, like there are players where I'm like, I wish I could have that one back, but I think the process was good. Like Tank Dell, I feel pretty good about that. I think he just had a setback, and so that was unfortunate. Wish I could have those teams back, but
Yeah, Tank Dell was definitely on my list of wish I did not click right now, but we're up, and I agree with the Jonathan Taylor click in this spot. So let's do that top of the sidekick. So we'll go top of the sidekick here. Kevin's telling you to just worry about your home league, Zach. So I don't know what that's about, but yeah, worry about your home leagues. I'm sure you're really worried about your home. Is that a thing you actually worry about? Like, cause it's your like friends. Are you in a home league?
So I've got 2 home leagues that have managed to survive. I really pared down like as much managed stuff as I could. I just don't really enjoy the managed format of it. It's a lot of I play fantasy football because number one, I enjoy winning, and number two, I enjoy making money in games of skill. And so for a home league where I'm spending, dozens of hours over the course of the season for not a lot of money, like that's not a great hourly return on my time. So that's a reason why I don't like to have a ton of managed leagues like that. I mean, I'm trying in my home league, but like definitely not as much as now that my DFS and best ball volume is what it is. the home league, it means a little less than it did to me a decade ago, you know?
Yeah, I've got it down to one dynasty league, and I despise it. I honestly, I don't even pay attention to it. I don't care at all, but I do it because I've got some family in there and some really good buddies that, um, you know, I don't want to just stop doing the team because it's a dynasty league. So yeah, it's what it is, what it is. But AJ Brown here at the top of the kick. Who is left right now? So we got Derrick Henry, Brock Bowers. Yeah, fine. Let's do AJ Brown. I don't have a lot of AJ Brown, but um, another guy that I'm definitely, if we're talking about guys that I'm worried about not clicking, outside of Bucky Irving, I think AJ Brown is one that makes me very fearful that I don't have a lot of. But I don't know if I think maybe I regret not taking him like really early in drafts, but it's more just
That's
like
my yeah.
it's more just like a pick. I don't know, like I see the way he just destroyed. Like I see the bull path, right? Where he's just like he's scoring a lot of touchdowns and he's on a really good offense. Drake May and him do feel like they fit well together, like some of their strengths. Like I feel like he fits really well as a number one with Drake May. So it is what it is. I like you can't click everyone in that top range. I was just clicking Bowers and Kenneth Walker and Chase Brown when I could, Genty and stuff like that, that's not even like a fair thing because of the whole injury stuff, which we'll get into next. But yeah, I wasn't clicking AJ Brown. Were you in that same boat? Because I've noticed the sidekick has gotten, I feel like, way more bullish on AJ Brown.
You know what's funny? Didn't touch a AJ Brown input at all. It's just that the guys who go around him now, like Chase Brown, moved up so much, and we did come up on Chase Brown. I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, five weeks ago now. It all kind of blends together, but we came up on Chase Brown and we're getting him a little bit. But then he just moved up even more, and so it's like, okay, well, we don't we don't want to take Chase Brown there over AJ Brown, and then a while ago we had come up on Kenneth Walker too, and he, goes earlier and earlier now. We're not super into Marion Hampton at price. We think Derrick Henry's closer to, the end of the second round pick. And so you get there and it's like, well, we like AJ Brown, we like Brock Bowers, and then like we're fine with a Chan here, but it's cool to get a discount on him. And so it's like, well, gosh, if I don't take AJ Brown, I'm just gonna have 30-something% Brock Bowers. So that's how we've ended up with more AJ Brown. It's really just how the prices have moved around those guys at the beginning of the second round, which is kind of interesting. It's definitely God. I'm looking at my exposures and looking at guys that I've faded or got big stands on. Deshaun Stribling, I somehow still have 15% of him, and I don't think I've clicked him in like 2 months. But all of my Deshaun Stribling is like in the 180s or something crazy.
That's remember we were talking about mine when I was showing it last time out. I'm the same way. So we're back up here. Brees Hall is at the. I'm actually surprised Brees Hall jumped Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, I'm good with either of them. I think Brees is probably more likely to come back in the
That's
fourth
what
if you
I
want to
was
get both of
thinking.
them.
All right, let's do this here because Jeremiah Love, we could get both of them. Also, the Brees and JT had the same bye week. Let's do it because I've gotten Brees in the fourth round. I feel like all week, and I love the Brees click. I actually think Brees is. If you just said JSU, who do you think ends up scoring more fantasy points at the end of the year? I think I would lean Brees over Jeremiah Love just in a vacuum. But I think Brees has a better chance of getting to us in the fourth round than Jeremiah Love does getting to us in the fourth round. So at least I've seen it more in drafts than I have Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that where I think they're pretty close. I probably prefer Brees as far as who ends up, being better for best ball, scoring more points, all that. Slightly into Brees, but yeah, I'm pretty happy if I can get both of them on my team. And I think fourth round Brees is just such a smash.
Also, as we say this, and we've got people drafting with us and listening, so yeah, of
Yeah.
course, it's Spunky. Like literally, Spunky's like, oh yeah, JSU and Sac, they want Brees. No,
I
sorry.
mean,
I'm
Spunky's
taking.
got a great team so far.
Yeah.
That looks.
I
I
mean,
got many that look just
You
like
didn't
that.
need Brees, Spunky. You didn't need them. Okay, you didn't need them. Um, yeah, that's unfortunate. Right now, normally I feel like we have a pretty good shot at getting them. ETN goes right there. Um, Abuka is at the top. You see my guy Loveland just staring
Yeah,
at me right
I'm
underneath.
fine. I'm fine if you wanted to IKB to Loveland here. We don't
Yeah,
get a ton of Igbuka, so I've gotten some with this Igbuka fall, but it's also a little, we have injury stuff in there for his turf toe, which is definitely concerning. But I wasn't really ever taking Igbuka in the third, and I've got 0.3% Igbuka. So this is where I'm starting to get some. But you've got some Igbuka, and I know that you're a big time Loveland bull. Loveland's one where I'm not like, oh darn, I wish I had more of him because I don't love the price for him just in
yeah,
the landscape, but he's one where it's like I wish I could root for that player more. I wish I had my financial interests tied to that player in it,
yeah.
just ignoring the price and the landscape and everything. Like,
No, he's just like a
boy,
fun
it'd be
guy.
fun to root
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
Colson Level.
Well,
Just like I,
isn't
I
let's be
love
honest.
Derrick Henry too, and I've faded him many
Right.
years in best ball. Like I want to root for the big dog, man. Like, so there's lots of players like that where me fading them doesn't even mean I think they're bad or that I don't like them. Like, it's just I'm doing the stuff that I think is going to make me the most money every year, and sometimes that's misaligned with what is the most fun for me.
Isn't that isn't that though the case with some guy like Cam Scatterbo? I feel like people just love to root for Cam Scatterbo. Like he's just like a fun guy, you know what I
Yep.
mean? He does backflips, he does cool little like things with when he scores, and he runs through it like he just like smash his head into a wall, whatever. Like he doesn't care. He's just like a like a fun guy. I feel like people root for. I don't know. I get it though. Colson Loveland's like one of those guys. I see why you don't pick him. You're like, hey, he goes kind of near Trey McBride, and Brock Bowers is right there, and I can get other guys later at the tight end position that are pretty good too. But I don't know. Like, I think Colson Loveland is going to end up being closer to Trey McBride and Brock Bowers than we think. And but I see why. You like if he was going in the 5th round, it's the same thing with Luther Burden. Like when he was going in the 4th round, you're like, eh. But when he was going in the 5th round, you're like, hey, we like Luther Burden in the 5th round. Like it's the price, I get it.
Yeah, remember when we first started streaming together, I think I was like 0% burden. I'm all the way
Yeah.
up to 7.4% burden now, which, by the way, for people that have not drafted at enormous volume before, that's really hard.
That's a
To go from 0 to 7.4 means I've drafted hundreds and hundreds of Luther Burden teams.
That's a big jump, by the way,
Yeah.
too. Yeah, from like 0 to that. So
And like, I bet you if pretend something happened to Loveland where he fell into the 5th round, I bet it'd be the same thing where I would have gone from 0% to even with the field on Loveland.
all right, we're back up here. Devontae Adams, top of the kick. And I've noticed one other thing. You have not budged on Parker Washington. Is he someone that you guys are worried about?
We came up a lot on Parker Washington. The market
Okay.
just came up way more.
Yeah, the market just keeps.
I think what we
The
have for
market just
Parker Washington.
keeps moving on Parker Washington. Like every time you think you're like, oh, we're kind of close to the market. No, you're not. Like
There was a
keeps moving.
little stretch of time where we were getting him top guy more on the other site than DraftKings, where he goes at like the beginning of the 6th, and there was a
Yep.
brief time where we were getting him there and the market wasn't pulling him up as much, but where he goes on DK, I mean, he's going in the, early 5th, and sometimes I see him go in the 4th. Like, that's one where it's just hard for me to see that over the other guys that I'm having to take him over.
Okay, Quinchon Judkins at 65.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Did you see the coach speak on him?
I didn't see like the exact coach speak. I saw he was back like practicing though. What was the coach speak?
Oh, it was. I mean, more or less meaningless. But he was just calling. He was saying, "Oh, Quinshon's a bull. Quinshon's an
Yeah.
absolute bull, man."
Well, you
So
better pray he's a bull, because the next thing I want to talk about is that friggin' guy Deshaun Watson you got playing quarterback right now, throwing ducks. Everyone's like, that gif where it's like, look out, and there's like stuff falling on the guy's head, like there's balls just flying everywhere, no receiver near him. You can just tell, like you could just tell when like they have kind of no choice. It's like, oh, we're gonna start Deshaun Watson because we got to pay him this money. He's there. He's under contract, right? And on top of it, I've said this before, but it's like it's really hard to go from a rookie back to Deshaun Watson if it doesn't work out, or like a second year guy like Shador back to a Deshaun Watson. It's better to just start with Deshaun, let him see what he gives you, and then you can just, if it's not working, be like, yeah, we're going with the young guys, and then just start going down the order of young guys. Because I'm not saying Shador's good either, but like at some point you got to know this team isn't going to actually do anything. So how long do you think? What would you set the over under on Deshaun Watson starts?
I'm
By
gonna
the way,
go.
Brooks at 64 is wild and
Yeah,
fun, but
he's
wild.
screamed up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say 6.5 for Watson.
Whoa, I'm taking
Not
the under.
hang on. It's not 6.5 in a row. He'll start for some. Shador will
Okay.
play some. I assume that there will be.
See, I think they go to the next guy.
Yeah, I'm not. I definitely think that can happen, and then it can go back to like. I think they don't have anyone there that is going to be good enough to
No.
hold a job for very long, and so it depends on how quickly Watson gets benched the first time around. I think impacts if he's able to come back. You need
Yeah.
enough time in the season for them to try the other stuff. Be like, well, this is all bad, because really, the Deshaun Watson stuff is like they want to be done with it. They're just looking for like, is there anything
They're looking
here?
for a way out, but there's no way out. So the only way out is like through, right, Zach? It's like okay, we gotta let him try, and then when he fails, then we can just move on. You know what I mean? Like that, but they gotta give him a chance. So we're up on the clock here. Let's see. So DK Metcalf goes pick 80. Quentin Johnston's up here, top guy on the sidekick. You cool with QJ?
Yeah, he's the one where we came up on him a little bit, probably like a month ago or so. Just really, it was more about like having the range of outcomes for the Chargers offense be a little bit wider and more ambiguous with how those targets get distributed there. Where,
Whoa, Deshaun's dribbling at 81.
I mean, dude, that's where he goes
It
now,
is
right?
drafting season. Oh boy.
Like Stribling, where is
I'm
he?
not gonna lie. I've done a few draft. I haven't seen him go that high. Maybe
Okay, he
it's
goes like
high
90. He goes in the 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna
ADP
say.
90.
I feel like I've seen him go at like 95, 98, 93 maybe. I've never seen him go in the 80s like that. Like in the 7th round. I don't think I've seen him yet. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting any more Deshaun Stribling this year.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I sniped you? Oh man. Well, it's drafting season, bro. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? We got to snipe.
Yeah, Stribling is my highest CLV player though. Average pick
Is he?
183.
Yeah. I gotta go back and look, but I'm pretty sure he's got to be one of my highest too.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
Stribling,
I'm
Brooks.
surprised. Well, no, I guess Debo maybe not.
Debo's up there.
I was
Stribling,
gonna
Brooks,
say.
Debo, Waddle. Those are like my highest CLV by draft capital that I've got pretty big
Okay.
overweight bags on.
So
Jacoby Lane,
RJ Harvey goes right there. Josh Downs,
your guy.
I mean,
They're giving us a discount because his calf hurts just a little bit. He's going to be back at practice though, he said. So I'm
I'm not worried about the calf thing at all. If you ask me, Am I worried about Josh Downs playing all 17 games? 100%. I am. Like but if we just play the if game here, Zach, like if he does play 17 games, Keenan Allen or not, these guys are all banged up. Like, what happens if Alec Pierce is just not right all year? Like, what happens in that scenario? Him and Keenan could both eat.
Yeah, I just really like Josh Downs as a player. I think he's good. I got a good amount of him when he was going like in pre-draft best ball. He was going in the 130s and he was one of my higher exposure players and got a lot of him there. I really like how those teams look when you're getting, Josh Downs in the, 12th, 13th round. That's pretty fun. I got less of him as his price moved up, but I do think he's a pretty good pick where we got him. And honestly, this is just the reason that I draft over the course of the entire summer, because you'll get news that moves the market, and a guy that you didn't like as a pick a couple days ago all of a sudden becomes a good pick at a price that you're into. And so that's the way that I like to get some natural diversification in my portfolio and just try and get the best prices on guys. Just spread my drafts out over the whole summer.
So I want to get to Music's question real quick, and then I'll get back to. I had one more thought on the Cleveland situation, but Downs over the QJ Herbert stack question mark. Zach, the kick obviously like Downs. I wonder if it's because we're getting into another quarterback pocket, and the kick just probably likes quarterback forward, so it was kind of pushing up what it thought was probably just the best overall play, as opposed to prioritizing that stack with QJ?
Yep, I would say what's the difference between Josh Downs and the wide receivers that are available in our next pick and the pick after that and the pick after that? And what's the difference between Justin Herbert and the quarterbacks available at our next pick and the pick after that? It's like
there's one guy that you don't like, and I know you don't like, that I think is a really good pick right now, and he's still on the board, and you haven't liked him all year. And I'm going to call it right now. I think this is going to be one of your bigger regrets.
Okay, let me see who it might be.
Think of there's a receiver that has already gone in the 8th round that you liked over him on the team.
I know who it is.
You know who it is?
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden. I think when you look back, you're going to be like, I took Jaden Reed over Matthew Golden, and I think that might have been just wrong. And Michael Pittman goes right there. Like Matthew Golden, to me, he's just going to play in those two wide receiver sets that you are hoping, and we can take Pat Mahomes here. I'm fine with that, but he's just such a good click. I don't even know.
I don't understand the Mahomes price at all.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And people don't like him. It's weird.
People are super mad about it too. They're really mad that you insinuate that Pat Mahomes could possibly be a good click in the hundreds.
Possibly. But no, I think Matthew Golden, because the whole thing was like, Matthew Golden might not be good. He burned everyone last year. We don't really know. We know Jaden Reed is good. Like, we've seen Jaden Reed be good. And I know this is some of your take, right, Zach? Is like, I've seen it, and maybe Matthew Golden's just not good, and throughout the year, they just end up saying, screw it, and start playing Jaden Reed some on the two wide receiver sets. And I just don't think that's going to be the case here. I think they want Matthew Golden to be a thing. They use the draft capital. I know he busted last year, but he didn't need to be good last year. They had a bunch of other guys, two vets that they really liked. Now those guys are gone. Like, he has a free path to just fantasy points. And I think the Packers are going to pass more than in years past. I think they're going to have to pass more this year.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew Golden just did not have my favorite kind of prospect profile coming out. Jaden Reed, much stronger prospect in my opinion coming out. Jaden Reed also producing at a pretty good level in the NFL.
Can you just pause real quick? We're up here.
I like the Worthy stack here.
You like the Worthy stack? All right.
Yeah. So now we've got that QJ stack where we passed on Herbert. We actually have the other side of that week 17 game stack now where, hey, instead of Herbert, why don't we squeeze in Josh Downs here? and then we can get Pat Mahomes instead of Herbert, have Worthy, and now we've got the QJ as a bring back.
In For Music's question, when he was asking question mark Herbert, the Downs pick over Herbert and QJ, maybe it's because the sidekick, hey, we can get Mahomes, we can correlate it and get some Worthy, and bang, we got a little stack right there, and we get Patrick Mahomes 20 picks later than Justin Herbert.
Yeah, pretty into that.
Yep. Continue on Golden and Reed, though. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, I mean the other thing is I don't really think Reed necessarily needs to be playing in 2 wide receiver sets over Golden. I think that's possible and in the range of outcomes, just because they've shown us that when Matthew Golden wasn't playing well last year, they were not shy about just no longer playing him very much. And so I definitely think that's possible. But I think at the price where Reed goes, he's going in the same round as Josh Downs, who, again, those are 2 like pretty similar players in my mind, where historically they've been slot limited. I think both are very good players. They have really good underlying advanced metrics, very efficient players in targets per route run, yards per route run, but historically haven't played in 3 wide receiver sets. The path for Downs looks a lot more clear right now than it does for Reed. But I do think that if you were asking me, hey, you have to run an NFL team, which of these wide receivers do you want? I think I'm taking Reed over Downs as far as like who is the guy that.
Yeah, well, that's not the question though, right? Because if you were running this team, you would be playing Reed no matter what formations you were in. You'd be like, yo, put Jaden Reed on the field and leave him there. And
I think ultimately using talent as your guiding light is not a terrible thing. It's not the only thing, it's definitely, but I think if that's a pretty strong factor that you're using to help guide your decisions, you're going to find yourself on the right side of a bet more often than not. And that's that kind of dovetails with the skepticism on Matthew Golden, where it's like, I didn't think he was much of a prospect. He wasn't much of an NFL player in his first season. And I get that guys develop all the time. There are lots of stories of guys who, didn't have a great rookie year, but turned it around, developed as a second-year player, more opportunity became available and they took advantage of it. I'm not saying that can't happen. I just think the frequency at which that happens for Matthew Golden is not high enough for me to really want to take him at the price that he goes at, or I'm having to take him over, say, like Pat Mahomes or Mekhi Lemon or picks like that. And that's kind of how I feel about it there.
But you guys all, and I'm just pushing back because like you guys always talk about draft capital, and it's like Matthew Golden, he just had one bad year and everyone loved him I always love players where the whole world is in and we're clicking Matthew Golden, pick 80, screw it, Matthew Golden's the pick, he's gonna play, he's a slam. He makes everyone pissed because he was terrible. And then the next year, he's going 20 picks later. They lose guys. They're pretty much telling you, like, hey, we're going to give Matthew Golden every chance to be the number 2 to Christian Watson. And Baker Mayfield goes right there. That's a huge bummer right there. And we don't like him. Like, I don't know. I'm going to bet that they just continue to only play Jaden Reed in those sets here.
Now, I like our Danny Dimes double stack though.
I love Daniel Jones. Can we push it though and take Malik Willis?
You can. You're not. I mean, yeah, we can.
All right. I just think we have a way better chance of getting him, unless the Warren team is over here. Yeah, it is. But they
do have Dak and Bo Nix already. I'm pretty worried about Dolphins offense. I don't know if you saw the
I saw it.
I didn't send it to you. I didn't need to needle you. I know you know.
You could have sent it to me. Why not?
No, man. There's no.
I needle you sometimes. You can send it to me and needle me. It's fine. It's fair. We're friends. We can take it. I'm a man. But no, I saw it. I was like, yeah, we're still talking the Dolphins. It's not gonna be the best team to watch. Let's be honest, right, Zach? Like, let's just be real. The Dolphins are not going to always be the greatest team to turn on the television and just watch a full game of. What we're hoping is that the Dolphins just can give us some fantasy goodness for like a quarter and a half and get us there with the Malik Willis or something like that. So I get it though. The stuff doesn't sound good right now, but
No, yeah,
I think Malik Willis is better than people think too, and I could be wrong there as well. We'll see. But we do get Danny Dimes back in the kick saying,
I would do C-Rod though now because we addressed we can push that QB2 spot. It's fine, or the QB3 spot
wow, okay.
because
All right.
it
I like
changes.
C-Rod. I like C-Rod. I'm fine
Yeah,
with that.
C-Rod, I'm kind of surprised he never came back up in price. He dropped off of the injury, and then he never rose back up. Which, I think we're both on the Tootin train. But like, dude,
Oh, 100%.
you're gonna give me C-Rod here at pick 137. Like, look what I'm having to take him instead of. Like, I certainly think C-Rod has a more valuable role than Tyler Algier. Like the quality of running back that Tyler Algier is playing against is far superior than Bashal Tootin. As much as I like Tootin, Jeremiah Love is just those are very different players. And then C-Rod is also on a substantially better offense than
Yeah.
Tyler Algier is on. So it's like you look at the guys going around here, and it's like, man, this seems like it's kind of late for C-Rod. And he's not, not that C-Rod's some world beater or anything. It's just, I think it's a case of the price fell and it never kind of got back to where it should be now that he's healthy and we don't have concerns about the injury.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like the C-Rod pick where he's going here. I think it is a little much, even though we do like Tootin. You never know what can happen during a season, and he's a decent bet where he's going. Even though I'm still on the Tootin train, and I'm trying not to waver too much. Like some people are starting to get a little scared. I'm not. I'm gonna keep clicking Tootin. I'm okay with it in the 5th round. I'm gonna still click them, but I do want to get back to this point. So like, what was it? Just C-Rod was a really good pick because I think it's confusing to people. They're like, hey, listen, you had JT, you had Josh Downs, you have good, like your quarterbacks are okay, but I wouldn't say our quarterback room was like amazing. We have Malik Willis as a QB2, and you were just saying like you're not a huge Dolphins believer here. I know we like Patrick Mahomes, but he's coming off the ACL. Why would the kick kind of pivot us after Daniel Jones being that top guy? It's confusing to a lot of people, I think.
Well, the universes where what the sidekick's doing is it's showing you the pick that makes you the most money given the players that are already on your team and what is possibly going to be available to you later in the draft. And so when you take Malik Willis, all of a sudden, all that value Daniel Jones added to your team has now been diminished pretty substantially because some of those weeks where Daniel Jones was hitting your lineup, Malik Willis is doing okay in those weeks. And maybe not all of them. Maybe, according to the Sims, Daniel Jones probably did a lot better than Malik Willis because we saw him at the top and didn't see Willis. But once you take Willis, that changes the equation for Daniel Jones pretty substantially, where it's like, well, he was cool when he wasn't having to compete with 2 quarterbacks, but now he's only, he's having to compete with 2 quarterbacks instead of just 1. And so he's not worth as much. I do like that we get a little Jonah Coleman top guy here, though. That's fun.
I'm a fan. The only Denver running back that I'm okay swallowing my pride of Sean Payton hate for his running backs and clicking is Jonah Coleman at this price. I think it's a fair price. But yeah, no, that does make sense. Andrew says Sack is in all of my King of the Desert slows. Sack is in everything. So yeah, he's in all of everything right now. Dub KJ says I'm a huge Chiefs guy. Actually, I think the legendary upside guys might be even bigger Chiefs fans than me, if you can believe that. But a lot of Pat Mahomes bags in this stream right now with me and Zach. We got big Pat Mahomes bags.
Yeah, I'm right now sitting at about 1,200 Patrick Mahomes teams, a little over $13,000 of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's a lot. M. Wald says, "Do we know if DK is going to actually offer promos for best ball?" So it's not technically best ball week. They wanted to make this clear. It's not technically best ball week. I did get a promo though yesterday. Again, the promos aren't going to be for everyone, but I did see other people in our Discord that got the same promo as me last night. It was like a flash offer from like 5 p.m. to 12. If you draft two, you get like a $20 ticket. Into I think the showdown contest for the first game or something like that. Zach, I don't know if you got that either, but like they are offering promos. You just got to keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on your promos page on DraftKings. You know, I don't know if it's going to be the ones we want, like they did the last couple best ball weeks, but yeah, it is what it is. But I would definitely keep an eye out. Keenan Allen goes.
Oh,
That's a
sniped on Keenan.
bummer. That's a bummer right there. Oh, Travis Hunter. Now this is where I would
You can
like
try and push him if you think you can get him back.
I would like to push him because I do think we have a good chance to get him back. Schultz?
Yeah, I would do Schultz here if you want to push Hunter.
Okay. I didn't know if you were a Brissett guy with Love. So I don't really love the Brissett and Love combo because I feel like Brissett, one, I don't think he's going to play after their bye week. So I think, you know, best case scenario, he's an advancing piece for you, which he could be and stuff like that. But I just don't love like unless I have like a real like full stack. You know, if I got like a Trey McBride, Marv, and I'm like, okay, I need Jacoby to be really good because I think that's how like Trey McBride and Marv actually hit their ceilings. But with like Jeremiah Love, I don't feel like I need that. You know what I mean? Like he could get there with Carson Beck, Jeremiah Love. Like he doesn't need Jacoby Brissett is my point. I think those other guys like need him to be good for the double stack to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we do have things like that handled with the Sims. So, for example, a lot of times Jacoby Brissett is benched by the end of the season, but I would assume I'd have to actually go and look at the individual Sims like game by game to see. But my assumption would be that if the Cardinals are surprising people and doing better than we expected, there are probably some pretty correlated outcomes there where it's like, whoa, Jeremiah Love's really good, and so is Jacoby Brissett because the Cardinals are scoring way more points than people thought. And maybe also there are some outcomes where Jacoby Brissett actually doesn't get benched, or he gets benched and they do the Carson Beck thing. They're like, never mind, we actually can't play this guy anymore, or we're just going to get fucking fired because Jacoby Brissett was at least a functional offense. Maybe they lose a bunch of games with Jacoby Brissett, but it's kind of like last year, you know, where it's like, well, we're losing a bunch of games, but we're putting up yards at least.
Gives you the best chance to win, though. You know what I mean? Like he clearly gives you the best chance to win.
And it can easily be a thing where it's like continuing to start Carson Beck is like showing our ass. And as a coaching staff, they're probably pretty interested in preserving their jobs. And there are lots of outcomes where it's like, yeah, we just can't really start you anymore, pal. Like, otherwise, we're not going to be here next year. So I think that those aren't super common outcomes, but I do think that they're probably correlated with some of the really higher end outcomes. And there's actually a really good question in chat from Myers.
Yes, I was going to get to that here. So,
and I think that dovetails really nice with this. So it never changes the range of Sims, but you're kind of thinking through this in the correct way. Your subset of Sims in a single draft is always the same from start to finish. What changes every time you take a player is the Sims in which you are making the most money, right? When we don't have Malik Willis on our team, the Sims where we are making the most money are going to be different than the ones where, well, now that Malik Willis is on our team and we're trying to solve for which picks make us the most money, well, those are probably happening now in universes where Malik Willis is at least doing well, right? It's certainly not going to be the universes where Malik Willis is doing terribly. And so there we go. We get Travis Hunter back.
So you think we should take him now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take Travis Hunter now. Dude, I'm telling you, he just keeps falling. And by the way, too, the question was asked because I pivoted. The sidekick was telling us, for people that are just listening, the sidekick was telling us Daniel Jones back, in like the 130s, and I pivoted to Malik Willis. So that's kind of where the question is coming from.
Yeah, and so it's like I'm trying to think of like an easier example. Pretend that there were only two sims, and we knew for certain that one of these two outcomes was true, right? And in one universe, Malik Willis is God himself, right? He is just the best thing since sliced bread. This guy's dropping 40 burgers every week, right? And in the other universe, Malik Willis isn't so good. And so in that universe, Daniel Jones ended up being the thing that made us the most money. But as soon as we took Malik Willis, the sim that it made sense to play for was the one where the guy's dropping 40 burgers, right? And so then you can expand that and say, well, okay, it's not just two sims, it's tens of thousands of different universes we're looking at. But the ones we care about, where we make the most money, now happen to coincide with ones where these players that we have are performing well enough together to meet the different thresholds that need to be met to progress through a best ball tournament, where it's able to advance out of the first 14 weeks and able to get through the playoff gauntlet and put up a big score in week 17.
All right. You guys have Omar Cooper. You guys are still not budging on the Omar Cooper stuff. Nothing scares the leg up team away from Omar Cooper over Pat Bryant. Is that real?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get a first round pick here at, pick 185, that is the kind of thing you should just do, like all the time. I think if you closed your eyes, you didn't know the player's name, you just knew this is a wide receiver that was drafted in the first round, don't know their team, don't know anything else. And all I'm asking you is, should you draft this player at pick 185 in best ball? The answer is yes. Every year.
Okay, I'm going to throw this one back.
You'll make a lot of money.
I'm going to throw this one back to you. Now you tell me the team, and you say one guy plays for the New York Jets, and the other guy plays for Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. I think guy. I want the better offense.
So here's something that I think is a really important concept that I think a lot of people kind of generally understand with rookies, but maybe like haven't thought through it from this framework. With a player like Pat Bryant, the ceiling on Pat Bryant, the absolute best case scenarios are a little bit capped for him, because we have already seen him play in the NFL, and we know for certain Pat Bryant is not Puka Nacua, right? Like, that's not happening for him. He's not going to be 99.999% of people aren't Puka Nacua, right? But when you get to observe a player in the NFL and the larger sample of games and seasons that they've played in the NFL, the more confident you can be in their skill level as a player. And so for a rookie who we've got their prospect profile to anchor to, but prior to them coming into the NFL, dude, there's lots of really good prospects that never do jack shit. And there's lots of guys that aren't great prospects, like Puka Nacua, who is, later round draft pick. And then the NFL didn't know Puka Nacua was going to be Puka Nacua. Nope. But things like that, where you have this extremely wide range of outcomes for guys that have never played in the NFL, is part of the reason that rookies are good picks, because there's just so much less certainty that you can have on a rookie compared to a player you've already seen in the NFL. And I'm not saying the story is written on Pat Bryant. I like Pat Bryant. I think he's pretty good. Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think it is. Honestly, I don't think it is.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's the second highest scoring wide receiver on the Broncos this year.
Wouldn't surprise me either.
Wouldn't surprise me if he outscores Omar Cooper this year. But I just am so much less certain as to what happens with Omar Cooper than I am with Pat Bryant. Like, I'm pretty confident Pat Bryant is not the highest scoring player on the Dolphins, right? Like,
but I'm very confident Omar Cooper is not. He's not scoring more than Garrett Wilson.
But I'm less. I'm pretty confident in that. But I'm less confident there than I can be in Pat Bryant, and that's kind of the whole.
Dude, Garrett Wilson. How about this one? If you switch teams, Garrett Wilson goes to Denver and Jalen Waddle goes to the Jets. I mean, we're slamming Garrett Wilson.
Oh, for sure.
He's like easily a 2-3 turn pick. He might even be like a 1-2 turn pick. at that point.
I
Like,
think he probably should be like 2-3 turn pick. I think from a like skill level, I prefer him slightly to Waddle,
I,
but not
yeah,
by
I
an
don't think
enormous amount.
people even understand like how good he actually is because he plays for the
Right. He's
Jets.
yes.
So,
No, I do
uh,
think Garrett Wilson does not really get a
Ch-
fair shake in the eye of the
old
fantasy.
Charlie here, real quick before we yeah,
Of course. Is it even a
of course.
question?
It's chat. It's the 17th, 18th, 19th round. What do you expect? We just keep slamming our old friend, Mr. Charlie Kolar here. All right, so that gives us 3 tight ends. But yeah, no, like to the point, like for me, I just look at these two guys and I'm like, I don't think Omar Cooper has a shot of being, fantasy 1, 2 with Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson. Could he be their third guy? Maybe. But they also have Kenyon Sadiq, who they drafted pretty high and is pretty talented. And they also have AD Mitchell, who I know is super talented. He just makes boneheaded plays. But we've seen it. Like we've seen him out on a football field and we've seen him get separation. You know what I mean? Like do all these things where it's like, okay, I see the talent. Maybe he's not a number one sack, but like I see the talent. Like he could be a number two. Omar Cooper's got a lot to contend with that we don't like. That's a lot of guys to contend with in New York.
For
And I'll
sure.
keep
And
pushing
it's
back on that.
really
And we're up. Hold on before you answer here. I got to go somewhere other than Calvin Ridley. So bring me the promised land. Michael Penix or Ted Hurst?
I would do Hurst because I think we can get Penix back.
Yes, I agree. Okay.
Hurst is crazy that he has not come up more
I love
already.
it. No, don't even say it because I keep clicking. I
Hey,
just
here's
keep clicking.
here's one. Why is Ted Hurst not going where Jacoby Lane goes?
I honestly, because Jacoby Lane has a better like team with a PR stat, like their PR staff's better. I have no idea. Like it's a good point. I have no. I feel like every day I see like a Jacoby Lane like sweet like crab where the defender is like tight to his body and he just makes like a really good catch and you're like, wow. And then every day I'm like, I don't see any other videos like that. Like the Ravens just must be really good at pumping up these rookies. Like I don't know what else it is because I don't see other videos. Like I'm sure there are other guys making these type of plays, but I just don't see it like get pumped all over social media like Jacoby Lanes do for some reason. They're everywhere, man. I don't get it. Is it Lamar?
I
Maybe
think part of it is that the Ravens are super excited to finally have a good rookie wide receiver,
that
and
could
they
be it.
like just haven't had that in forever. And so it's really easy for everyone to be excited about that and that to be kind of the talk of the town.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. Oh, and Penix
Oh,
goes
we
right
don't
there.
get Penix. Man, Penix is a really good pick, by the way, because
Really good.
Tua does not look long for this world.
I,
I mean, maybe he gets the week one start while they're trying to get Penix back. But
Zach, did I not say on this show Tua is a terrible I literally
I
have
mean,
tried to tell people he's
you're
so
preaching to the choir. I'm extremely overweight Michael Penix, and I
yep.
think let's see how many Tua
He's my
in.
highest super flex quarterback in that super flex contest that they have over there on the other site. Uh he's my highest quarterback, I think.
Yeah, I have let's see, 55 total Tua teams, and the majority of those were pre-draft.
Yeah.
So
Well, that makes sense.
not a lot of Tua. And then if I look at Penix, I've got 256 Penix teams. And I've got some 555 Penix teams too. So he's definitely
I,
one that I'm into.
I was like for sure that he was gonna come back to us. When you
Yeah,
said it, I was
he
like,
hasn't been a hot commodity lately, but I'm not surprised that
yeah.
people are starting to get more into him.
I'm not shocked either. I'm just like, oh, that because he would have fit our team pretty well. Look at all these quarterbacks: Kirk Cousins, Carson Beck, Shador Sanders. I mean, they're all going at this
Dude,
point.
the Shadur Sanders stuff is wild. Here's a fun stat. What do you think the highest projection was for Shadur Sanders in DFS last season across all the games he played?
The highest projection. Well, I mean, it's got to be really low. 15, 14.
Try like 11. It was
Shut
11
up,
and change.
really?
Yeah,
11?
yeah, it's
I was
brutal.
thinking he had like one cupcake matchup where he's like they give him a 14 or 15 burger. No. Wow. Okay, Darren
Yeah, a
Waller.
little Darren Waller. I like mixing him in. He's one
Yeah.
where, he wasn't drafted for a lot of the tournament. So,
I'm normally Michael Mayer, but I do just because I have a lot of Michael Mayer. So
yeah,
like,
I hope we get both. I do like Michael Mayer too.
yeah, me too. Me too. I love Michael, but I do like Darren Waller. You know what I mean? Just came onto the scene, but I am cool with clicking some Darren Waller there. Oh, and you guys got one other guy I'm really cool with clicking at the end of drafts that I kind of hope jumps everyone else.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
A little pop. I've been clicking pop. Oh,
Pat's
yo.
been in my ear like, you think could we raise Pop? I've been IKB in a Pop. You think we could raise him? I think he's the best click of the 20th. And so
I
we
I
reviewed
agree.
him. We came up a tiny bit. There wasn't a lot of room to move on the Pop inputs. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But I see where Pat's coming from on him. He's like, I'm just so confident that Pop is gonna have like 2 games where he scores like 15 or more fantasy points. Cause he does that like every year. I'm
He
like,
does it.
yeah,
Yep.
I don't not believe you, but I think our inputs are pretty good on him, and so
I did
we came
a
up a little.
I did a rankings update after the Genti and the Houston trade and everything like that with Booty. And I posted like a couple of my biggest risers besides like Kayshawn Booty obviously rise a good amount for me, but a couple other ones were Chris Bell and Pop Douglas were two guys that I moved up to like
Oh, sniped
really
on
good pick.
Mayer is so rude.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. It's going the tight end route here.
I mean, if you got a favorite flavor, it's totally fine.
Yeah, I think I gotta go Eric All here.
I have clicked some Eric All.
Yeah, yeah, you have, huh?
Yeah, we're more into Raritan. I get Raritan more often as top guy than Eric All, but
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
click Eric
definitely,
All.
definitely have some Eric All.
Yeah, Eli Raritan. Chat liked Eli Raritan too. Oh, look, Deshaun Watson's the top guy now. Not
Yeah, if
clicking
there were
him.
21 rounds, we'd consider it.
Look at that. We definitely needed a third quarterback on this team too, and it still didn't want us to take a quarterback. That just tells you how bad Deshaun Watson click probably is. But like our room definitely needed a third quarterback. And when we look back on this draft, we're gonna be like, I like this draft, but I hate that we have two quarterbacks. I think that's
Honestly,
what we're gonna say.
I'm fine with 2 quarterbacks in some builds, especially like if you're right about Malik Willis, I don't think you're really needing
Yeah,
a
but
third
even if
quarterback.
I'm right, can he give us like consistency? I don't know if I think we get spike weeks. I don't know if we get like the consistency
I
that
mean,
we're
I
gonna
think I think
need.
between him and Mahomes, you're probably pretty good. You're not going to have a terrible score every week between those two
No.
guys if you're right on
If we're
Malik
right.
Willis.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, if we're right for sure. Um so here's this team out of the 8 spot here. We went a 2-5-8-5. That's right, you heard that. 5 tight ends. Respect the 5 tight end kick. JT, AJ Brown, Jeremiah Love, Colson Loveland, Devontae Adams, Quinshon Judkins, Quentin Johnston, Josh Downs, Pat Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Malik Willis, Chris Rodriguez, Jonah Coleman, Dalton Schultz, Travis Hunter, Omar Cooper Jr., Charlie Kolar, Ted Hurst, Darren Waller, and Eric All Jr. Zach, what do we think of this team?
Yeah, this is a fun one. I kind of like we basically were like, all right, Colson Loveland's the man, and then we'll throw these 4 random tight ends on at the end, and when Loveland's on bye, one of them will surely score, and maybe in the playoffs, one of these guys helps us with a big week or something like that, and maybe we sneak a lower owned Loveland in the finals if he has a rough week 16 or something like that. So I like this one. This is a fun team.
Shout out Teds. What's up, Kings? Tuning in late, but get to see my goats live for once. Love that, man. Appreciate everyone watching. Make sure you hit the like button on the video, whether you're watching on the Run Pure Sports side or the Legendary Upside side here. All right, Zach, let's get into another contest here. If you want to draft with us, I'm going to jump in another $25 over on DraftKings. Oh, did they post another $100? Ooh, they did.
They did. They also posted another $3 play action. Unfortunately, it's only 30K to first. It's just a 10%.
I wonder if $100 would fill.
I didn't look. What's the
It's
percent to
so
first for the $100?
the payout structure in the $100 hot route is, I just pulled it up here. So 20K to first, 10K to second, 7,500 to third, four.
And how big is that one? What's the total prize pool?
It is 100K.
Okay, so 20% to first. That's not a bad one. I'll probably
Not
do
a
that.
terrible one right there. Do a 25. All right, we'll do a 25. We'll do a 25. All right, so I'm gonna get into a 25 now. So if anyone wants to jump in a $25 draft, I'm jumping in right now over on DraftKings. $3 million to first place. We are 4 of 12. And very fast, this thing filled. Holy crap. So I assume more friends. All right. Let's click over. So Zach, what else? So we hit the Watson stuff, the Kayshon Boutte stuff. You talked a little bit about Tank Dell. Obviously, unfortunate the news coming out about Tank Dell. It doesn't sound very good.
No.
With him at all. It sounds like they're thinking, he might not be fully ready until next year, but maybe this year. It sounds like something went wrong, and now they trade for Kayshon Boutte. Whether they were going to trade for someone anyways because of the Jaden Higgins stuff, which they probably were going to, but it is unfortunate for some of us that were drafting Tank Dell. But what does this do for Kayshon Boutte? Because I do feel like he's still going in a range where he's a pretty decent pick where he's going right now.
Yeah, we draft a good amount of Boutte. Now he didn't move up as much in the Sims as I thought he might. Where Keenan Allen, he shot way up, right? But Boutte moved up a little bit, not as much as Keenan, but he is one where we're definitely getting more of him in. I've got 450 slow drafts remaining. I'm whittling them down, but I'm in a place on a lot of them where Boutte is top click for me. So getting to add to the Boutte position there. He's squarely on the menu in those late rounds if you need a wide receiver.
Who doesn't love getting in the Boutte position already? You got to get into the hey, we got to get into the Boutte position once in a while. Clip that. It's going to be a banger. Clip that. It's going to be an absolute banger. Jim, hope you feel better. Jim says, feeling like shit. Otherwise, I'd take your money.
I was gonna say Jim is usually in our family friends room, so I was missing him tonight. Sorry,
yeah.
Jim.
I'm not missing Jim. He's a shark. Get Jim. Stay out of my drafts. I don't want you in there. Feel better. Damn, Lee missed out. Damn. Well, we are picking out of the 11 spot here. We'll see what falls to us. So my next question, Zach, did you get some drafts in when Ashton Genty tore his knee? His leg was, for those couple hours, his leg was facing the other way. They were doing the prayer thing, and they were carrying him out on a stretcher. Went to the hospital ER room, and they had everything, very, very closed, shut. They didn't want anyone to see. And then he comes out, like the guy who just shoves the two doors and just walks out. And he's ready to roll.
He did a dance routine. Yeah, I actually heard his leg was fully detached and it actually launched into low Earth orbit, did a full rotation around the Earth, came back, reattached itself, and now he's fine. I did get a few drafts in during that news cycle. Unfortunately, all of those were rooms in which I don't think the people were aware of the Genty news, or at least the guy who took Genty wasn't aware. So Genty was going like 12. He was just going at the 12 spot. Mike Washington went really early in a bunch of those.
By the way, we're going to go James Cook here.
Okay. Oh, you don't have the draft board up right now.
Oh, shoot. Glad you said that. He was the top of the kick, by the way.
That's okay. I trust you.
He was the top of the kick.
But yeah, I didn't get any late Genty. I just told my wife we could hang out, and then the Genty news comes, and I go, I'm so sorry. I do need to go run new Sims. And she's a football fan, so she knows who Ashton Genty is. I'm like, I got really bad news. Ashton Genty might be out for the season. I got to go run new Sims. She's like, okay. So she let me go do that. And then I came back and spent some time with her. I was like, would it be okay if I drafted some teams right now? Because I kind of think there's a pretty good advantage right here. I'm very into Saquon
because
here.
I could just see me and my wife having the same conversation, and the faces that she'd be giving me right now. And we're gonna click Saquon Barkley, even though I'm not a huge Barkley drafter, but Chase Brown went, so it's fine. But I can just see her face, just giving me the face. So the fact that she was like, fine, that's a good woman right there. That's
shout out to my wife. Like, it takes a special woman to be okay with their husband drafting 4,500 best ball teams in a summer.
100%.
Dude, and she's so good, man. Like, I a couple summers ago, it was actually the Kyron and Puka summer. We took a vacation in August. And so I just was like, I'm going to get all my drafting volume in before, and I'll just take most of August off. It won't be a big deal. Turns out we find out the Puka and Kyron stuff in August. The 99% of my volume's done. And so I don't think I had any of either Puka or Kyron that year. And so that was very emotionally scarring. And I told her, hey, look, no more vacations during August. Like, I want to be able to draft. Like, this is a hobby that's important to me. We'll do our vacations a different time of the year. But dude, when you think about it, like, I don't really want to take vacations during the NFL season. I don't want to take vacations during best ball drafting season. So that's like, all right, we got a window right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, March.
Yeah.
March. Go somewhere nice and warm. You know what I mean? You can go somewhere nice and warm in March.
Yep.
Perfect time for you.
We did Hawaii this last year. Did a nice Hawaii trip in March right after the Super Bowl, and I think we've got like a cruise that, shout out DK for the little cruise thing that they did for their, Diamond and Onyx members and whatever else that was. So we've got the cruise booked for after football season this year. So, shout out to Mrs. Sacrilegious for being supportive and understanding that, sometimes you just got to draft when Ashton Genty is rumored to have torn his ACL.
Yes, and prayers. The prayer circle definitely was a thing that was going around too.
But it didn't work for Calvin Austin. So I feel like that's kind of unfair, man. Like,
it only works for Ashton Genty.
Yeah, Ashton used it up. God is more of a Raiders fan than a Giants fan. He was like, listen.
Maybe, but Genty goes there with the Chase team here. So I unfortunately didn't get the draft like at all during this time. So I missed out, or I thought I missed out. So I didn't I heard some like he was going in the third round. Maybe some people got him like at the end of the third to the fourth or something like that. Who knows exactly what like the craziest teams were, but I did hear of those teams. I did one draft and I got him at the 2-3 turn with Gibbs.
That's really nice.
So I have one team like that.
I hope to get one like that. I don't know if it'll be possible, but I hope so.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. The Genty Chase is still a pretty good good pairing. If you get that.
The guy out of the 3-hole has a nice team here. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. I think if I can get Genty with like those top 4, that's probably a nice, pairing to just take if you can.
The latest that I saw Genty go on DK was at 111 in a 5.55. I saw a screenshot of that. There are some guys. There are some guys who draft in the 5.55 that were talking about it, while the Genty news was still mercurial. And they're like, oh gosh, he's top guy on the sidekick at 38. Do I take him? I'm like, I definitely would take him. He passes on him. He's like, oh, he's top guy on the sidekick again here at 62. I'm like pretty sure that's a jam. I think you
And you
just
still
clicked that.
didn't take him?
Didn't do it. And so I don't know if that was the room where he went 111. I think it was a different room, but the team that got him looks suspiciously sidekickish. There's a
So
lot of sidekick targets on that 111 Genty team.
can I
So
just say, if that doesn't tell you that people draft differently for contests, because in the $25, he's gone at 60 years.
someone's gonna take a shot,
Yeah, someone's taking a shot. Like, dude, $25. Like, I'm going to the movies and spending this thing. Like, here we go. Give me Ashton Genty
Yeah.
one leg, and I'll take it here. T. Higgins feels like a pretty good pick here in this spot.
I mean, shoot, what if we get, Jamar Chase? He's totally okay, but it is a bone bruise, and they just want to be cautious of him. They're going to hold him out week 1. Maybe a little extra, just a little boost for T. Higgins there.
That's right, Jim. Shout out to the wives who deal with degenerate gambling. I agree. Shout out to the wives that have to deal with it, because it's not easy. It's not easy living. I'm sure it's not easy for Mrs. Sacrilegious living with Sack, and it's not easy for my wife either. So respect to those women. We're back up here in one pick. We were just talking about Garrett Wilson.
There you go. Here's our Garrett Wilson. I'm definitely into that.
So I'm normally Brees here, but we do have James Cook and Saquon.
Yeah, we got Cook, Saquon. I like getting Garrett Wilson and T as kind of we're pretty well balanced here and strong at both wide receiver and running back to start. I'm pretty into this start.
Yeah, this is, I would just say, like, it's like a pretty solid start. You know what I mean? You get Garrett Wilson, who's obviously super talented, and then you get T. Higgins, who's on one of the better offenses for fantasy, I think, overall, with Joe Burrow. And who, like you said, who knows? Maybe he gets a game or two where Jamar's not 100% sack, even if he plays. Maybe he's not like just fully 100% left, and the game plan is maybe a little more on T. Higgins' side, which could happen. And on top of it, I feel like T's just such a good player, because he just, for this format, he just always randomly has those like 2 touchdown games when you're like, yeah, give me T. Higgins here. So I feel like 3rd, 4th round T. Higgins is just, it's a steal. People don't like it though, because he gets banged up sometimes.
Yeah, no, T, when he goes at the 2, there's seasons where he goes at the 2-3 turn. There's seasons where he goes at the 3-4 turn.
Yeah.
When he's at the 2-3 turn, I'm less interested. When he's at the 3-4 turn, I'm pretty interested.
Same with me here. So through 4 picks, we got James Cook, Saquon Barkley, T. Higgins, and Garrett Wilson for people that are just listening. Audio here, pretty solid start. Let's see what else. Anything else going on in this room? That's a little off. I don't really see anything here. Oh, Javonte at the 2-3 turn. You don't see that very often. Got a little Gibbs, Nico, Javonte start.
Yeah, that pulled up Javonte there. Wow, pulling up Price as well.
And then Quinshon, who's been falling. Interesting.
I was eyeing a Cubs team out of the 10. That's a pretty fun one there, where he gets Brees in the 4th and then gets Zay Flowers all the way there at the 310.
Yeah, that's a fun start right there. Richie's at 5.
Yeah, I like Richie's a lot too.
I like Richie's a lot until I saw Cam Scatterboo, and I'm like, oh God, I can't do Cam Scatterboo. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I like Scatterboo, Richie. Don't worry.
You guys need to lower Scatterboo, okay? Pat,
We did lower Scatterboo when they signed Najee.
More.
I don't think that would be correct. I think the inputs that we have for Cam Scatterboo, I think, are correct. So if he's top guy on the sidekick, I think that's right.
My favorite is when I just say something in Sack. He's trying to say it as nicely as possible, and he's just like, I don't think that's right. Not like, JSU, shut up, you're wrong. It's like, I don't think that's right, JSU, stop it. Cam Scatterboo, are we not at all concerned that he just might still need a little more time and he's not 100%? They bring in Najee, who's, let's be honest, like, the thing Najee does, outside of like maybe they like him more for pass protection stuff, but like it's kind of similar to Cam. Like goal line, you're not worried at all about Cam in those situations.
I definitely think that they could have a plan where they think that they want to involve more Najee Harris. I don't think that it. I really don't think it's a major impact on Cam, and definitely not over the entire season. It might be something where I do really like a Dunze here. I'm pretty into that.
So
I
yeah,
actually like all these three receivers. I like all of them, and I have very little Christian Watson on DK. He just goes like a little earlier than a lot of it is. I really like the running backs that go where he goes, and so I just
yep.
don't get much of him because of that. But like, dude, if Christian Watson went even like 6 picks later, I'd have a gang of him. And same with Adunze. If Adunze went like 6 picks later, I'd have a lot of him.
Oh yeah. If a
Um,
Dunze went like in the middle of the 6th round, I'd have a ton of a Dunze.
Ooh, I do like a little Tyler Warren top guy though.
I
I
do
never
too.
feel like I'm getting enough Tyler Warren. Um,
Same, and I think it's because we draft so much Bowers. I'm pretty sure you draft a lot of Bowers,
yeah,
and I don't know what your Trey McBride exposure is, but I'm pretty sure it's got to be up there as well.
yeah.
I know you're not a Loveland drafter, but I'm pretty sure you're into Bowers and McBride, so maybe that's why. And
McBride,
you're
I've got
into
like
the running back. Yeah,
14%, and then Bowers, I'm at looks like 24% on DK, 17% overall.
yeah, no. I listen. More concerned about Scadaboo or 28-year-old running back off of an Achilles. No. I'm just concerned that Cam Scadaboo and that whole running back room is just going to be absolutely in shambles. It's going to be like a terrible situation for everyone. Like the coaching staff, I don't trust Nagy. I don't love what they're doing there in general. What if Devin Singletary's involved a little bit? Like what if they use 3 running backs? Like I don't know. I just feel like there's paths to where we're not loving the entire situation. I'm not telling you to draft Najee Harris.
So
I'm not.
I'm aligned with you on not loving what I think, Matt Nagy is not great as an offensive coordinator. I
Don't
do.
sugarcoat it.
Yeah, I'm not super into what they're doing there. I think the Scadaboo stuff likely follows a pretty similar path from last year, where Scadaboo was not getting the bell cow work for the first few weeks, but when you see him play compared to the other guys play, you're
He's just
like,
better.
hey, and even though I don't think terribly highly of Nagy, and I think that Harbaugh probably is not the best version of himself compared to what he has been at previous points in his NFL career, he was a very good coach. I think he's slightly worse than that now. I don't think that they are so bad that they can't see after a few games like, hey, we had an idea of what we thought was going to be the right answer. Let's do the thing now that we know is correct. Let's load Camp Scadaboo up more. That I'm it wouldn't surprise me at all if in the first couple weeks of the season it plays out a lot like what you're worried about. And that'll be something where people are scared and like, oh fuck, we drafted Cam Scadaboo. He's a timeshare back. Oh, but dude, by like week 5, week 6, that's not really the thing that survives contact with the enemy unless Scadaboo is like totally sapped and he really is not right, which I think all the evidence kind of points to the contrary right now, where he seems like he is back and fully healthy in a pretty good situation.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We'll find out for sure what's going to happen with Cam Scadaboo. I don't know if he's fully back. And by the way, his injury was like really rough. It's not like a simple thing to just like come back from and be like 100% go. So maybe it is more they just want to have like insurance in case like he can't handle like a workload early or something. And maybe there's like a build up to what you're kind of talking about happening, where it's like, hey, the first couple of weeks we work everyone in, and then Cam's like better, so he just kind of slowly gets more and more until he starts like truly edging everyone out of the room. which could happen. But I don't
Yeah,
know. There's
I'll
something about this Giants offense that just stinks to high heaven, and I don't know if I want to be involved.
Yeah, I mean, regarding the injury recovery stuff, we've added some help at Leg Up this year with a doctor who has been a team doctor for college teams, worked with professional athletes before. Very, very highly qualified individual that has really helped us with a lot of the inputs that we need to have regarding injuries and recoveries and return to performance and things like that that need to go into the sims and be high quality, accurate inputs. And so that's really helped me feel a lot more confident in the range of outcomes for these players' recoveries and what that type of stuff will look like. And I believe we have an article coming in the next week or two where we may release some of that injury alpha that we've been kind of keeping internally for the Sims. So that's something where people can look forward to that. I think we'll have a kind of comprehensive guide on some of the injuries that are big ticket items to discuss and how you can kind of use those in the final drafts of the season and in your redraft leagues.
All right. Well, we are up. I'll get to Richie's question in a second here. Sam Laporta, top guy. We do have Tyler Warren. It is interesting though.
Yeah, I'm into Laporta here. A lot of the times when you do get one of these early tight ends, the Sims actually do want to lean into it as a position of strength where
Yeah.
when you think through, just like we talked about hey, when I draft Malik Willis, do my Sims change? It's kind of the same thing with playing into your positions of strength. When we're making lots of money, it's probably because our tight end position is doing well and maybe sometimes even filling our flex. And so there are a couple different ways you can go about it. Like in our last draft where we had Colson Loveland, we did Loveland, but then we tacked on 4 late guys where it's like maybe those late guys help us by, hitting our flex with a spike week. Little Jaden Reed now. So we did Josh Downs in the previous draft. Now we get Jaden Reed. I like that, mixing up our similar archetyped guys.
I capitulate to your Jaden Reed love for this one draft only, and then I go back to Matthew Golden over Jaden Reed. But Richie, I wanted to get to Richie's question. He says, Giants offense or Cardinals offense? Who would you prefer? Honestly, is it crazy to say the Cardinals have more talent on their offense?
No, I don't think that's. I mean, like obviously the Malik
who
Neighbors.
are you taking? Are you taking Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison, and Trey McBride, or are you taking
I think you got to include
Field?
Jeremiah Love for me to be like, yes, they have more talent there.
No, but wait. Are you taking Malik Neighbors, Malachi Fields, and Isaiah Likely?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. I prefer the pass catching core on the Cardinals for sure.
Okay, who are you taking? Jeremiah Love, Tyler Algier, or Cam Scadaboo and Najee Harris?
Yeah, I'm taking the Jeremiah Love. No, I do agree with you that I think the
and I don't even like
skill
the
position
Cardinals.
player. Yeah, the skill position players are better there. Malik Neighbors easily like this could be the season where at the end of it we're like, oh, Malik Neighbors is like one of one. We thought he was among the Jamar Chase and Puka Nacua tier of talent level, and then this season happens. We're like, yeah, never mind. There's Malik Neighbors, and then there's everyone else. Like that's a possible thing that could happen. I think the most likely thing
might be what it is too. It's like there's Malik Neighbors, and then Malik Neighbors is so good. It's like Malik Neighbors, and then just all these other guys are just like hanging out and just whatever. Zach does do a really good job explaining the Sims for sure. M. Wald, I love when any question about the sidekick inputs come up, and Zach is like, we actually have the best money can buy giving us inputs, and this makes me feel good about my sub. You should feel good about your sub. These guys put a lot of time and a lot of effort into not just the kick tool itself, but making sure all the inputs, having the right people around. They have a full team of people. It's not just Zach playing with the numbers. I mean, Zach, obviously it'd still be pretty good probably, but it's not just you, right?
Dude,
Zach?
the team adds so much value compared to what if it were just me and Pat working on the inputs, that would not be anywhere near as good as with the power of the whole team behind us. Like, shout out to the whole Leg Up Rankings crew. I just, I'm super proud of our process, and I know how much work and time and effort goes into making it good. And I like truly believe that every one of those guys on our team like is putting in significant hours and sacrifice to like it's dude, it's an insane amount of work when you really think about like I mean, we just should have charged more for the sub from the get-go. Like Shady and I told Pat that from the jump, and Pat's a really nice guy and he really likes sharing cool stuff. And he's just a man of the people. And so we charge what we charge, and we probably should charge a lot more, but whatever. We're very proud of what we do, and we take a lot of pride in being the very best. And
you should.
We do not plan on relinquishing that. We plan on that gap getting wider and wider every year.
And you guys defending your title of best draft assist tool out there. I would expect nothing less. And the only thing I'll say about the rankings team is next time get quicker on Luther Burden. Next time get quicker on Caleb Williams and Terrence Ferguson. That's it. That's all I got to say. Everything else, bravo. Maybe Matthew Golden over Jaden Reed too, but we'll leave that one. Okay, that one is fine. I get it, but the other one's quicker. All right, Kyle Pitts goes. Bo Nix is at the. Actually, I like just because of our team. I think Joe Burrow's gone, Caleb's gone. We have a few kind of late quarterbacks, but.
Yeah, I'm into Bo Nix here. I like Bo Nix a lot. I was kind of bummed we weren't getting more of him earlier in the season. Yeah. So we've been getting a little more of him lately. So I'm pretty into that.
It came back. It came back. They were out, and then they got pulled back in. They got pulled back in by that price that we were getting, that discount on Luther Burden.
Now just please give me a Loveland. Can someone come out there and put a report out that says Luther Burden will be the super alpha in the offense. Colston Loveland will play a supporting role, and just let Loveland fall. I just want a little Loveland, man. Just give me a little.
You need like a Sam Roush and Cole Kmet are just destroying.
There you go. Right, I don't care what the news is. Just something to give me a little bit of Loveland. There we get a Dobbins stack right away with our Bo Nix. I'm into that.
I do think Chuba, when we get into these like 110, 120 is a pretty good.
He's a really good value, man.
Yeah, he's a really good value right there.
I hated taking Chuba in the like 70s and 80s, but
I never did.
Yeah, like I'll do it now.
Yeah, no, that 5% is all now. So, and I'll keep clicking it if it's gonna stay there. But, not that I love Chuba, but. No, you need a good report though with those type of guys to get, because you're not getting it. Like Colston Loveland is just
there's so little time now too, and training camps are basically over, so it's like we're not gonna get anything. It would have to be that something actually like bad happened to Colston Loveland. I don't want to. I don't ever root for stuff like that.
By the way, speaking of my Bears, since I have at least a 10-minute quota of talking about Bears every time we do a show. But I did see a great breakdown by Chase Daniels, who, former quarterback and everything like that. He did a pretty good breakdown on just the few plays that he got to see with Caleb Williams. And when I watched the plays like multiple times, in your head, it's so crazy how like quarterbacks will just slowly just break every nuance, like little thing down. And you're like, in your head, you watch it and you're like, oh, that's simple. You know what I mean? Like he just checked it down to the back, and Chase Down was like, no. You don't understand. Like this is not what. When I watched it, I was like, man, Caleb actually might be making some serious improvements. Like there's things that he would have never done last year that he just did, and it makes me feel so much better about the Caleb stuff. And I know you guys don't love Caleb where he goes, but it makes me feel better about the whole offense in general if Caleb has like a new grasp on it, and a better grasp from year 1 to year 2, which was like my whole take coming in was like another year in the offense. He's going to have like a level up grasp of the system and the playbook. And it kind of showed when he broke down the plays, it kind of showed in the breakdown, I thought anyways, which made me feel a lot better about the Caleb stuff. So, yeah, I know you guys aren't going to click him, but I still think he's a pretty good click.
I think we'd really like him if he went like around Purdy, we'd be slamming Caleb.
Yeah,
It's
he's
just
just never going to go. He's too
no, it's
like
just that he's going around, like Jalen Hurts
you,
and
you know what doesn't
Drake
make sense
May and
though? He's in like a great offense, but like Jared Goff's he has mobility, so that's why Jared Goff's like where he's going. But like Jared Goff's an amazing click. Like in a great offense, gonna play in a bunch of dome games, has all the weapons you need. Like he is an amazing click, and he goes 30 picks later or something like that. I do think that's kind of silly just because of the mobility edge, I guess. But so that point kind of stands. But overall, I think I feel a lot more confident in me being right about my full Caleb take, which is
I don't even think I disagree with you on that take.
I don't think you do. You just disagree with
I
taking
disagree with
him
the
over
market's
Jaden.
price. Yeah, I
Yeah, you
disagree with the
disagree with the
market's
market
price.
price. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Have you mentioned watching the Chase Daniels video? Oh, I'll talk more
Yeah.
about this after we get our guy
Honestly,
here.
Goff might lead the league in passing touchdowns. I don't know if he'll win MVP, but he might lead the league in passing touchdowns. I honestly think that. 131 here, sack. Aaron Jones is still up here.
I really like Aaron Jones at this cost. I think
I see my guy Keaton Missile, and
the
seriously,
Keaton Mitchell injury stuff is a little concerning, man. They haven't told us anything about it yet, but he's not practicing, and Mike McDaniel described it as a setback, talking not about the way he used setback was a little confusing because oftentimes coaches, when they say that, are referring to like a player who's recovering from an injury, had a setback.
yes.
He was talking about it in context of like the running back room itself has suffered a setback in that we don't have Keaton Mitchell now. And there was no like timetable for return or anything.
Wait. Shouldn't that make us a little more bullish though? Did you hear that?
Oh no, yeah, he definitely he cares about Keaton Mitchell.
They care about, dude. I fought with someone on Twitter because they were like, but in Baltimore for 4 years, they didn't care about Keaton Mitchell. I'm like, oh, the Baltimore coaching staff, they all coach in LA now? That's news to me. I didn't know that. Like, what are we talking about right now? Zach, I think we need a quarterback.
Let's do Shakir.
Okay,
I think we do Shakir here. I bet you our next turn we probably are able to double tap.
Okay. All right. We'll do Shakir here. I'm gonna trust in you right now. So we paired Shakir with James Cook. We do have one quarterback right now, so it's Bo Nix as our one, and our build right now is a 1-4-5-2 through 12 rounds.
Okay, going back to your Chase Daniels thing, do you ever watch JT O'Sullivan quarterback school or no?
No, I've never watched that before.
He's good, man. For anyone who's like aspiring ball knower out there, like you just enjoy guys who are good at like breaking down the X's and O's of it. His channel is good. Shout out JT O'Sullivan quarterback school. It's pretty good channel. He'll basically break down like a full game and look through the all 22 of a quarterback and kind of go through what he thinks the progressions likely were and talk through things they did well, things they did poorly. The only negative thing I have to say about him at all is he was real biased against Drake May coming out because Drake May's mechanics were not so perfectly beautifully refined, and he just kind of was a little take locked on that one, and I do think that one got away from him a little bit, but he does a really good job. I think for people that like just love the game and are looking for more content about the game, that's a great place to learn from. I think
like a
really
deeper
awesome
dive into the actual, nuances of football.
You watch a couple of those videos and then you go and watch football on a Sunday and you're like paying attention, locked in. You'll see a lot of stuff you weren't seeing before, and that's I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and stuff that like your eye just won't catch when you're watching an actual game. You know what I mean? That
if you haven't been trained to process stuff and the way that an NFL quarterback is trained to process it,
they would
you're
catch
gonna
it.
miss. You're going to miss a bunch of stuff that's cool and happening
Yeah.
during the game that you're just not like you haven't been told to be aware of what that is. And so yeah.
Like, the play where like everyone was showing it, where he threw the ball to Colston Loveland, and it probably could have been a touchdown, but he kind of like overthrew it a little bit. Do you know the play I'm
Yeah,
referring
yeah.
to? So most people, you wouldn't even realize this, but there was like a blitz on the edge, and the pickup, for whatever reason, the right tackle didn't pick the guy up. The guard at the last second had to move all the way over and pick up this guy. So the right guard, instead of the right tackle, had to go around the right tackle to pick up this blitzer, and that's why Caleb had to throw the ball just a little too soon. If he could have had one more hitch before throw, that's a touchdown. And Chase was like, I don't know why. Like, he had the protect, like it was lined up. I don't know why he didn't just like slide over. But I was just like, yeah, like why did that happen? But that's why he missed the throw. You know what I mean? That's why he was a little early on the throw. And then he was like, he could have went here. You know what I mean? Like there's plays where like he could have went somewhere else, but I was like, oh, this, that's stuff I just, you wouldn't pick up in a game.
Yeah, he did. He actually does. JT O'Sullivan had a really good Caleb Williams breakdown. I remember watching, and that was a fun one. But yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely
have to go back and watch it. Unless he's critical of him, then I'm gonna have to shut him off.
it was there was the good and the bad, and that's I do appreciate that about him.
There's a lot of bad with Caleb for sure. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad with even really all really good NFL quarterbacks because that's a really hard position to play. Like that's pretty tough.
This is definitely Sack's take. Caleb over JD and Hurts is like objectively insane.
Yeah, that's really like the main reason why we don't get much Caleb is just the price compared to those other guys.
You will like this. I did a draft this morning, and I had Terry McLaurin and Devontae Smith, and I got Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels at 83 and 86.
Wow.
I've never seen those guys fall like that, like both of them together, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I got a
awesome.
Drake May Jalen Hurts at the 7-8 turn the other day. I was like, what is going on here?
Why
just
is
double
Drake
tap
May
them both.
falling?
I don't know. I
fall?
it was in a room full of Patriots haters apparently.
I mean, there's a lot of Patriots haters.
Oh yeah.
So.
I do feel like those kinds of people come out more as we approach, the start of the season.
Definitely.
And here we go. We got the potential for a quarterback double tap. We'll go ahead and start with Bryce here and hope that the 12 hole doesn't take our Aaron Rodgers.
All right. So we've got we got Bryce Young and what happened to quarterback?
Sim say, don't worry about it. You can get a third one later.
Okay.
Or you may not need a third one.
I don't know about that.
I think if Trey Tucker is here, I think we do Trey Tucker. If you want to try and push Travis Hunter, I think you could say, hey, let's do Rodgers over Travis Hunter.
I think Trey Tucker is definitely the right pick over Travis Hunter because out of both of these guys, I don't think there's any chance.
There's zero shot Trey Tucker comes back. Yep.
And I think we actually have a pretty good chance Travis Hunter could come back to us.
Yeah.
As long as there's not if there's a sidekick top guy user, then maybe not. But
yeah, we could easily get both Hunter and Rodgers to come back to us.
That's right. We could. Oh yeah, for sure. All right. So we went Trey Tucker there. He was top guy anyway. So
yep. And the other thing is we used to not really have like a good emergency late quarterback, but now that Penix is looking a lot more viable, it's like, hey man, because if you've been top guying with the sidekick for the whole summer, you probably noticed like, oh, I get a lot of like CJ Stroud or like, if not CJ Stroud, Daniel Jones. It's like, because those were kind of like last call for the quarterbacks that we thought were at the very least, like maybe not great, but like decent. And then there's like the basement tier where it's like Cam Ward and like Aaron Rodgers and Bryce Young. Like we didn't love to get one of those guys, but in a pinch, you'd rather have that than nothing at all. And so the sidekick was really into, hey, let me get guys before I'm totally, down there dumpster diving. And then now it's like, all right, well, we can push it a little farther because we've got, worst case scenario, we've got really, really late option now with
Yep.
and so anyway, it is cool to see how it evolves as the draft landscape evolves, not just by ADP, but also like how the player profiles change as we get more information. So it is pretty fun.
Yeah, the Pats haters. I mean, it's kind of tough to be loud. You guys go to the Super Bowl, it's been a good 20, 25 years for the Pats.
Yeah, my wife is a Patriots fan, and I mean at this point, like back when I was not playing anywhere near as much, DFS and best ball, I was a Cowboys fan for, my entire life, and I basically am team agnostic at this point. And so I honestly probably root for the Patriots more than I root for the Cowboys now. Like I root for the players that I like and the outcomes that are good for me financially, but like I like to see my wife happy, and it's fun to root for her team with her too when they're on. So as long as it's not totally in conflict with what I need to happen, I'm good with it.
I live out here and I'm the same way. I still root for although and this kind of did I ever tell you my live final bad beat with the Patriots?
I don't think so.
So this was back in like probably 2017 or 2016, whatever it was, and it was the Patriots and the Steelers, and I had a full Patriots stack. There was it was like Edelman, Gronk, Tom Brady, and then I had the running back on the Steelers. It was some backup because their starter was hurt. And pretty much it was me, and then there was whoever was in first, which was like one of like the best guys. What's his name that I'm like blanking on? He wins all the time, or he used to win all the time. They stopped playing except for like football. I can't remember their name,
Like
but
a
regardless,
Chipotle addict or what?
yeah. It was them, and he's really good. So
Yeah.
nothing bad to say about him, but I'm just saying he was in first, not like he needed it, and I was in sixth or seventh, and nobody had anyone else going in front of me. Chipotle just had the running back, and I had the stack. So the Patriots, it's the fourth quarter. The Patriots get all the way down to the 1 yard line. And we all know, like Tom Brady, he's pretty good at just sneaking the football in at the 1 yard line. But worst case scenario, they score a touchdown and we go to overtime sack. So I'm like, okay, if Brady scores, I get 6 or 7 points, whatever it is. I move directly into second for $1 million or whatever it is. And Chipotle didn't have anyone else. He didn't have any Patriots. So I'm like, I get one catch. I get one pass from Brady to Edelman or Gronk, and I move into first, and there's nobody that can catch me. They friggin' false start penalty at the 1 yard line. They move back, and then they don't score a touchdown. We don't get overtime. I finish in like whatever it was, sixth or seventh or something like that. But I was so tilted. I was like, if there wasn't a penalty, there's no way we don't score 4 tries with Tom Brady at the 1 yard line. I was so tilted.
Dude, that is a brutal one.
It was a brutal beat. It was brutal. It is what it is. But
hey, look at this though. We end up with a third quarterback. He's stacked up with our Garrett Wilson.
Bang! Look at that. Gino's like he's another guy. Like you can get him like for free now.
Yeah, I do like that he's fallen because we had we still have significant bench risk on him, and so I did want the discount on him. But now he's at a price where I'm pretty okay with him. I think Gino could surprise people with how good he is for fantasy this year. Not saying he's going to go be the QB1 or anything, but like
I think he could surprise some people too. Tyler asks, is Puka ever going to practice, or should I just draft St. Brown? Honestly, Tyler, I've started to just draft St. Brown. I don't know about you, Zach.
I'm still taking Puka. But as a man who tore his psoas muscle, I can, I can speak to, maybe some of the pain that Puka's going through.
I'll tell you right now, it is. I've never torn my psoas, but I've dealt with psoas issues before. It is not fun. It
Yeah,
is
no,
it is not fun. So,
doesn't
and
feel good.
so yeah, it is what it is. Ted says don't fade Puka. I mean, listen, Puka's amazing. If Puka is healthy, he's gonna be a really good click. But I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's just like maintenance.
Yeah,
being
if it were something more serious, they with a psoas, they would have already had surgery. It would have
Also,
been
by
like
the
an
way,
immediate.
remember, this is a team, Sean McVay, they don't play their guys in the preseason. They're going to prioritize rest over, getting practice in or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I do think with these type of teams, we can worry a little less about stuff like that.
Yeah, not super concerned about Puka. Sometimes I actually now with the we don't have additional information on Chase yet. Like we didn't get like, oh, they did imaging and everything's fine. He's going to play week 1. So there's still some very small risk that it's like, hey, that knee hyperextension, you know, remember that's the same injury that Kyle Monangai has. It's causing him to fall multiple rounds. He's, they're thinking he's likely to miss a couple weeks. It's like it wouldn't be totally unrealistic for it to be like, hey, actually, Jamar Chase is going to miss a week or two, And so I do sometimes see the Sims put Puka over him now. I'm
Oh,
less
really?
concerned
Okay.
with Puka missing time than Chase missing time. Although for both of them, that concern is relatively small, but I would like a little clarity on Chase so we can, get those inputs updated with
He
more
said
information
he
is
said
always
he could
better
have
for us.
returned to practice, Zach.
Yeah, I know he said that. I just think he's a tough motherfucker. Like, dude, this guy is just an alien, Like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, you might be able to return to practice. It also might have
It's
been a
like
terrible
Genty.
idea.
They thought his leg was friggin' ripped off the bone, and then they're like, oh my god, he's back. Dude's like the fastest healer of all time. We've never seen anything like it. By the way, what are you doing diving for passes, bro? Like, come on, it's practice, man. Like, just let it go. Let go to the next play.
I don't know the diving for passes stuff. Maybe that's just like I've heard people be like, oh, why are you doing that in practice? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm always gonna like not that I was the world's greatest athlete, but I was always gonna give like, dude, if I'm not practicing like I'm playing, like I don't know that I can pull that off in a game. Even if it's something I've done a million times, I want to
Yeah,
my
I mean, you could practice like like I'm not telling you to go half speed. That's how you get hurt.
yeah.
That like 100%. Like if you're running a route like half speed, that you probably have a higher risk of getting actually injured. To be honest with you, like you should be doing things when you do that stuff like you're in game speed, but that doesn't mean you have to go like lay out for a ball. You know what I mean? You don't have
Yeah,
to go
you're
like
saying
that
don't do
far.
reckless stuff. You can go
Yes,
hard, but don't be
and
reckless.
it sounded like it was just something he didn't have to like he chose to do it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know for sure. I didn't see any clip or anything. I just like it sounded to me like it was something he could have easily avoided if he chose to.
Yeah, just I mean, I think the moral of the story is just stay healthy, guys. We want the games to start already. We want to see all of you out there on the field. Like I'm stoked to root for all these guys. Like
M Wald's like I want my guys on teams that try hard. Well, yeah, I don't blame you. Let's see. Tyler says same thing with the Genty. Something tells me it's more than a sprained ankle. Remember Tom Brady and known for stretching the truth. Well, that's another thing. I mean, like, Shaq, is there anything that worries you about Ashton Genty and maybe like, because there was like weird, like Adam Schefter was going on like I don't know if it was Sports Center or podcast, and he's like, well, it's definitely something. It's not nothing. Like that's what he was saying. It's like it's just weird. Like, why don't you just tell us like, hey, it's an ankle. I don't know if it's a low or a high ankle sprain, but I just know it's an ankle issue that he's working through. They hope it's not broken or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? They're optimistic. Like there's so many other ways you could phrase it than just be like, it's definitely not something. Like I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, a little peek into how the sausage is made. When we have, incomplete information, we take a probabilistic approach to stuff, and so we have a range of outcomes for what it all could be for Genty based on the information that we have. We're not assuming it's this type of injury or that type of injury. We're just saying, based on what we know, what are all of the things that could happen and how frequently do those different things happen? So that's kind of how we approach it. I do like my guy Jeremy here. Did you see, by the way, the Steelers are already like, yeah, the Roman Wilson being wide receiver 3 thing, that was fun and all, but I
That
think
was short-lived.
we've done enough of that.
Yeah, that was short-lived. Oh, look at
Dude,
my
Pat,
boy Chris Bell. Look at my boy Chris
yeah, man.
Bell.
Chris, we came up on him.
He said the kick said, "Hey, wait a second, hold on." JSU said Chris Bell on the show. He likes Chris Bell.
Dude,
Sack
Pat,
was back there. Sack was back there. He's playing with the numbers a little bit. I want to click Chris Bell.
Pat had the Roman Wilson and Jeremy Bernard stuff pegged so fucking exactly. Like the moment anyone is like, "Oh, aren't you worried that Roman Wilson's ahead of Jeremy Bernard?" He's like, "Absolutely not." Like, no, I'm not. I'm not at all worried about.
Either. I'm pretty sure I did shows with you. You were not worried either about that situation.
To be fair, I was more worried than Pat. It's always Kolar. It's always been Kolar. Always has been Kolar. Always will be Kolar.
I think we have a better chance of Kolar coming back to us, though.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's not worth it. It's the pick that makes me the most money, and I refuse to lose it.
Okay. I just wanted a little Chris Bell in
I bet we'll get Chris Bell to come back. I've been getting him in the 20th still.
I have not been getting him in the 20th.
Really?
Yeah, I have not. Yeah, people are starting to get hip to it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, his ADP has come up. I feel like him and Ted Hurst have like, there he goes. Okay. I feel like him and Ted Hurst have fake ADPs though, because those guys like they say 211, but I see him often in like the 19th and 20th.
We got ball knowers in this chat. Sustainable Construction just said,
"Okay, yeah,
pass on Chris Bell, fellas." I don't blame you.
That's fair. No, he's a good pick.
He's a great pick right now. And
yeah, we're definitely taking a good clip of him now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a really good click where he's going. Who's like is there a new 20th guy that you just enjoy clicking? Like in the 20th round, like a guy you haven't been clicking.
I don't hate getting a little pop in my life. Just a little pop.
Yeah,
it's been so many years that the Leg Up Rankings team has been rooting for Pop Douglas. Like he was a very high exposure player for us last year. He's a high exposure player for us the year before. And so it just feels like every year I'm rooting for Pop Douglas. And also he does like there will be some Pop Douglas highlights, every season he's good for one or two, and so
he's gonna pop for a big game or two for sure.
So he's one I like. As the 20th round gets more and more, as all the fun guys get slurped up, you got to find the diamonds in the rough, and I'm okay mixing in a little Pop in the 20th.
Pop was my boy. I called him for that big game. Was it in? Did he have a big playoff game, or was it like a week or two before that? I don't know what it was, but it was like an island game, and he caught like a bomb. I can't remember what it was. But I was like, or it wasn't an island game. It was like a short slate, something like that. But I love Pop. That's my hero. No one likes playing him either. And it's just nutted.
West Coast Gem has another good one. Malik Benson. That's one we have come up on Benson. We've been clicking him
That's a
too.
good one. That's a good one. I like that. Chisholm's breathing down his neck. I don't know.
Unfortunately, Chisholm. They were. So the athletic beat reporter was saying they were really happy that Booty got traded because that means that Efton Chisholm can make the roster now. So I don't know that breathing down his neck is how I'd describe it.
I think they really like these type of players. These like work hard, will do whatever you ask. If to give them like. He'll be happy just if he gets like a couple snaps a game, Zach. Like he'll be excited. Like they love guys like that. It's like they don't want to cut him, but he's still not better than Pop. You know what I mean? Pop's
Yeah.
just he's got a little more pop. You know what I mean? At this point he's just got a little more pop than someone like Chisholm, who they probably as an organization they probably love the kid. That's why they're like, we don't want to cut him. So it's like, yeah, we'll get rid of Booty. They still got Kyle Williams. They still got Hollins. They still got a bunch of guys, but like Chisholm will get a few. He'll still get a few snaps
Oh
if he
yeah.
makes the team. All right.
Little Darnell Washington. I'm always into some Darnell Washington, man. That's one that I really like in the 20th round. Michael Meyer as well.
I like Darnell Washington too. I'm a little more of a Mayer guy, but I don't mind Darnell like just getting a little Darnell.
Yeah, Eli Raritan too, another good 20th round guy. I think all the basic Mayer, all Raritan, Darnell Washington, those are all.
Oh, Matt Collins goes. There you
okay.
go. I don't see a little.
The little Jalen Knoll flop lag. By the way, fun fact for the people in the chat that may not have been following my exposures so closely last year. Jalen Knoll, highest drafted player last year, didn't work out.
What about Malik Davis?
I think that's fine. He's looking like the most.
I'm gonna click Jalen Knoll, but I was just wondering your take because he's a guy that I've clicked once or twice now. I'm like, I could see it. My buddy Rubio, I had him on a few weeks ago, and he said it on the show. He's like, I think Malik Davis could be the 2.
You wanna fun?
I refused then. I refused it then, but he might be right. So
here, you want a fun little nugget here. So in my very first main event draft, I wonder if I can find out what date this happened. Yeah. On May 25th, the first main event I did this season, $2,000 high stakes redraft tournament over on FFPC. I took Malik Davis as, I believe, my 20th round pick there because I was reading the tea leaves, thought that he was going to be the one to be the favorite for the RB2 job over there. He probably does not live long on my roster. He's a week 1 cut, for sure. But he's a little, what if something happens to Javonte Williams,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the more it feels that way too. Like it feels like Malik might have the inside track, and I don't know what Jaden Blue did or didn't do, but
I think we'll see more Jaden Blue this season than we did last season. But I do think the leash is extremely short. Is the vibe that I'm getting from reading what the team is saying, and what the nice thing about the Cowboys, man, they have some really, really plugged in people who follow the team, and plugged in a way where they are getting direct information from the horse's mouth, where a lot of these beats, like, they're watching practices and telling you what's going on, but they might not have time where they get to talk directly to the coaches or talk, outside of a press conference, where they're talking literally one-on-one with coaches or talking with ownership or the general manager. People. Cowboys organization has made that a priority, where they do have some reporters where, you just kind of get the special treatment, and those guys are really high quality sources of information. So over the years, that has allowed me to extract a pretty good amount of alpha on drafting Cowboys players. Like Jake Ferguson, the year that he became a thing in pre-draft best ball, no one knew who he was. And so I had enormous exposure to 20th round Jake Ferguson, just a bunch of them. So yeah, there are teams like that where if you get familiar with the way that information flows from certain organizations, you can actually get a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, Richie was asking about his team in the 5 spot. I like your start. You went JSN, Neighbors, Rice. That's a strong start. You got Cam with your Neighbors. It sucks you didn't get Dart just because you were already fully in on the Giant stuff. But you did get Stafford with your Adams, Sam Darnold with JSN, and then you had to throw on a third quarterback with Aaron Rodgers. You got him with Pittman. I mean, it's a solid stacked up team.
This is a great team. My only qualms, if you want me to pick nits on it, I don't love the Tyrone Tracy pick. I don't love the Pacheco pick. Pacheco just heads up, looks like he's probably losing his job. They bring in Kareem Hunt. Like it seems
Yeah.
dire. I probably wouldn't take him anymore. And the Tyrone Tracy stuff also seems dire, like he may be losing his job.
Sure.
Otherwise, dude, this is a great, like, if you took those 2 picks off there, I'd buy this team off you. Like this is a solid one. And those are late guys, like, they're
Yeah.
as far as picking nits, like those are pretty small ones. So this is a good team.
Yeah, no, it's a good team. I think Tyrone Tracy's out is like maybe he gets cut and he can sign with someone else, like, or traded or something, like, because I think if he stays on the Giants, he's just gonna be like they're just gonna like put him on special teams, like make him hate life, like he's not gonna play, and it's gonna be so you kind of hope he gets cut or something or traded or something like that. I don't know if he will, but because
Yeah,
I
I
do
was
think
trying to
someone
make
will
that
sign
same
him.
I was trying to make that same argument on Sean Tucker to Pat and the rankings team, where it's like, actually, if Sean Tucker gets cut, like he's pretty talented. What if he goes and lands on the
Yeah.
Chiefs, or he lands on the Saints, or he lands on all these places, or he lands on the Lions, all these places that could
Dude,
use an
the Saints
RB2?
could use a Sean Tucker. Like the Saints could easily use
Oh
this.
yeah.
I mean, I think he's pretty good too. I'm
Well,
kind of with you. I don't know
Pat
if
had a
he'll do
very
it.
good point, and he pushed back a little bit and said, a guy getting cut is never bullish.
No.
The fact that you just got the information that an NFL team was like, we are no longer in need of your services,
But
sir, is not
but it
great.
might be bullish if you're getting cut from the Giants or the Jets. Sorry, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you could. Now you could, fail upwards. You find yourself in a better landing spot. They make better use of your abilities. Like there's
Yeah.
always that out. But yeah, in general, when a guy gets cut, we do need to adjust our expectations. So I was like, yeah, that's fair. That probably, you're right. Sean Tucker
Good
gets
point.
cut. Probably not good.
Yeah. All right. Here's our team out of the 11 spot here. A 3-4-9-4. James Cook, Saquon Barkley, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Roma Dunze, Tyler Warren, Sam Laporta, Jaden Reed, Bo Nix, J.K. Dobbins, Aaron Jones, Khalil Shakir, Bryce Young, Trey Tucker, Geno Smith, Omar Cooper Jr., Jeremy Bernard, Charlie Kolar, Darnell Washington, and Jalen Noel. Zach, my only qualms with this team is I think, outside of our 2 running backs, we're definitely a little light at RB3 and RB4, and we only have 4. I like the J.K. Dobbins stuff. I worry about him like staying healthy for a full year, and same thing with Aaron Jones. So I feel like we are betting James Cook and Saquon are just like our horses all year, which could easily just be the case where they're just consistently hitting our lineup a lot. But then our quarterback positions, like we're kind of thin at quarterback. So I don't love being thin at 2 positions, but I love our receivers and I love our tight ends.
Yeah, I think this team's a banger, man. This is one of my favorites that we've drafted
Oh,
together. I
okay.
think I'm really into this. Like, this is a good structure. Really, really. I don't see a weak position on our roster where I'd say wide receiver was the weakest. Where
Wide
we don't have
receiver is pretty strong to me. I don't
we
know.
don't have any elite, first or second round
Yeah.
guys. But what we lack in like that top end talent, I think that there are outcomes where our first 3 guys, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Roma Dunze, easily I could see all of them finishing as a top 12 wide receiver this season. And then we've got guys where I really like the upside, both from the standpoint of this season goes a lot better than the market's anticipating for guys like Jaden Reed. And then, late we've got Omar Cooper with the rookie bet. And then we've just got like a lot of volume on guys later. We've got the Jeremy Bernard rookie upside too. So I really like how this one came together. This is a pretty fun one.
Yeah. M. Wald says, just to go back to the cut point, well, Chris Rodriguez has been cut like 6 times in his life, and he's Tootin's competition, quote unquote. It is so true. Like, at a certain point, like, hey, listen, we always say it. You got to believe in something. Some of these coaches, you got to find people that believe in you. All right. That goes for Keaton Missile. That goes for Chris Rodriguez. All right. Find people that believe in you. Maybe there's someone out there that believes in Sean Tucker Sack. Maybe there's a coach
I
out
hope
there
so,
that really
man.
believes in him.
I believe in Sean Tucker. I like when Sean Tucker was coming out and didn't get to test at the combine because of a heart issue. I was really bummed, man. I thought he was a super exciting prospect. I really wanted him to test because I was pretty sure he was going to blaze. But yeah, man, I hope. I mean, really, for all of these guys, with some very small exceptions for the people that are just not nice humans. But I'm rooting for success for all of these guys, man. Like I hope they find teams that use them to the best of their abilities and they get to put on a fun performance for us. And dude, I'm just so excited for football to start the games.
Start the games. I'm with you, Zach. All right, maybe we'll be back next week. I don't know if there's when this thing's gonna fill. Do we think this thing fills by next week?
It could. The pace always picks up at the end here.
It's been picking up, I feel like, too. Like pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So could be back next week.
If we are, we'll see you guys then. If not, Zach, it's been a pleasure doing this show every Wednesday. Loved doing it with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show here. If you did, leave a like on the way out. It makes you subscribe to the YouTube channels, Legendary Upside and RunPureSports.com. And check it out. There's still time to draft. Get over there. Check out the Sidekick tool over to my upper right. If you thought it was cool, you're drafting a ton of teams. You're trying to jam in drafts, right, Zach? There's some people, like I said, just got in a week or two ago. They're trying to jam some drafts in. They want to get them in. They want to draft a ton this weekend. The tool will help. The tool will help.
Yeah, it's get your volume in season. So yeah, check out the Sidekick over at legendaryupside.com. We've got a monthly option, which if you are just planning on drafting for 1 month, I think is a pretty good steal. The annual option is what I'd recommend if you're going to draft best ball year round. You want to join us for playoff best ball, which is personally one of my favorite formats. The annual option comes out to be right about $50 a month. If there's about 10 months of drafting season between hot best ball summer and playoff best ball. But you can check that out over at legendaryupside.com. And then if you're not doing a ton of volume, but you still want the rankings, you'd still like a little bit of help with a draft tool. We have kind of the starter version of the Sidekick, and that is the Kickstand that you can get access to for the $15 a month, or it's $99 for the whole year. Over at Leg Up, you get access to all the articles, the rankings, everything like that, private podcast feed. And we will have just got news from our team doctor. It sounds like our injury alpha article should be available early next week. That's one I'm pretty excited for that to come out, just because I kind of want to flex on people, be like, hey, by the way, like we had lots of very valuable insights on all these injuries, and that's why some of the sim inputs have been so good, because we had some good intel.
All right, well, you guys going to show off a little bit with the injury intel that you got there. Love that. I'll be checking that article out when it drops here. A couple things. Wald wants you to do showdown stuff. West Coast Gems asking about Tyreek Hill getting drafted in these things. Not every draft, but I have seen him get picked in the 19th or 20th round every now and then. So sometimes. Teds, appreciate you catching us live. Great show, boys. Love that. West Coast Gems as well. And Tim, we will leave with Pop Douglas could pop off this year. I love that. Let's finish the show with that, guys. Good luck to everyone drafting over on DraftKings. For Sacrilegious, I'm JSU, and we'll see you guys maybe next week, maybe not. Who knows?